friends. Today's Atomic Habits, Chapter 14, was excellent. Today, we're going to be working on how to stop bad habits by using a commitment device. What's a commitment device, you might ask, if you've not read the chapter yet? A commitment device is either could be a true physical thing, or it could be a plan that you do to take action that will make you stop doing a bad habit. A commitment device. And I'm going to share with you some of the commitment devices that were in chapter 14. This is a live Atomic Habits weight loss book club. And so if you're watching live, like, hey, I got Logan in the house today. Hi, Logan. If you are catching this live, please put in the chat any thoughts you have from reading chapter 14. You can also share in the chat any wins you've had this week. And if any of you did it last week in chapter 13, we talked about doing the 2-second rule. And if anyone has tried a 2-second rule to start doing a good habit and at least giving it, or maybe 2-second, maybe it's a 2-minute rule. I'm sorry, 2-minute rule. If you're going to do something for at least 2 minutes, if you tried that this week, let me know and let me know what you did, because I would love to hear, and I enjoy the discussion as well. Hey, I got Freya in the house, and we have Lucy and Freya from the UK are here, and also have Taz the Bulldog's mom in the house. If you're also here watching, please feel free to write in the chat, and periodically I will stop chatting and I will read what people have written in the chat so we can do some discussion. Hey, and Anchor Moments RV is in the house. Hey, Jeff. He says, I'm also in the house. Literally the same house as you. Yes, and Jeff's in the house. Woohoo! All right. Well, let's get started. Atomic Habits, Chapter 14. The very beginning, it opens up and tells about an author named Victor Hugo. He's a famous author. He wrote The Noterback of Notre Dame. And it's so funny how he got that book written. He was a procrastinator, which I totally can relate to because I am an author and I have a horrible time with procrastinating as well. And he was procrastinating and his publisher got really upset with him. And he's like, hey, listen, you promised me a year ago you were going to write this book. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I've been kind of busy doing other things. And his publisher said, you have 6 months to get that book written. Well, Victor was like, oh, shoot, how am I going to get this done? And he had an assistant. And his commitment device, wow. He had his assistant in a chest lock up all of his clothes except for a shawl. So that way he could not leave his house. And he stayed in his house for 6 months, and he finished writing his book 2 weeks early and finished the Noterback of, or the Notre, can't pronounce it, the Noterback of Notre Dame, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. He finished it 2 weeks early so he could get dressed and leave the house. That is a pretty big commitment device. When I wrote my Anchor Moments book, I did not go all in like that. But wow, that would really make you have to finish something early. I was trying to think of a commitment device that I could do. My room is still a mess. I did do a little bit of the 2-minute rule that we talked about last week, that if you can commit to doing something for 2 minutes every day, and that you only make yourself do it for 2 minutes, you might actually, if you feel like doing it longer, you can, and you might actually get a whole bunch done. But all you have to do is do it for 2 minutes. And if you decide after 2 minutes you want to stop, you can without any guilt, because it's the 2-minute rule. Well, I did do that for a little bit in my room. I didn't hit it every day, but I did write that thank you card to George and Becky that I've been meaning to do. I threw away some things. There was a couple of days that I worked on just weird things, dirty dishes and stuff like that. I removed, so it's getting a little bit cleaner in here, but it's still not totally done. So if I wanted to do a big commitment device, I could do something like give my husband my keys and tell him, okay, Jeff, do not let me take my car and drive anywhere until my anchor room is cleaned. That would probably motivate me to get everything done, because I would not be allowed to go anywhere until my room is done. So sometimes I remember my mom used to do a lot of commitment device to me as a kid. When I was Logan's age, I was not allowed to leave the house and go play with my friends until my chores were done. And that would motivate me to clean the tub and all the different household chores. I would get those done because I would want to leave and go somewhere. So my mom knew if I really wanted to go somewhere with friends, that for sure those chores would get done, because I was not allowed to leave until they were finished. I have a few comments in here. I'm going to read some comments, and then I'm going to share something else from the book. So let's see here. Logan says hi, and Freya says hi. And Lucy says, I went and got the book from my local library so I can look at the charts. And the charts as well. Yes, because Lucy has been doing she's been paying attention to the audible book of Atomic Habits, because you can listen to the author James Clear read it to you, or you can get the book and read along. But the thing is, there are some really great charts, and it's hard to visualize the charts without a book, without a hardcover book. James Clear does give you an opportunity, though, if you do listen on Audible to his book, that you can go to his website, and then on his website you can look up some of those charts and you can see them there. But it is easier. For me, it's easier to have the book. I'm more a book person. I like to hold it and feel it, and I mark my book up with a lot of highlights and stuff, just like I used to do in college. And Jeff, he is a big Audible person. He loves listening to the chapter. But anyway, if any of you have had any wins this week, please put those wins in the comments. And did anyone try using the 2-minute rule from last week? Like I say, I did a little bit, and probably in a minute or two, Jeff will come in and he'll share he did something this week using the 2-minute rule. And next, commitment devices. So what are some other things you could use as a commitment device? One suggestion they gave in Atomic Habits. Oh, Jeff, we were just talking about you.
You were?
Yeah. Hey, you got my robe.
I got your shawl. I gave all your clothes to Goodwill.
Oh, no.
And you can come back when your room's clean.
Oh, no.
Here, I'll put this right here.
Will you put my shawl right there?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's even worse than taking away my car keys. Hey, so what did you think of chapter 14?
It's good.
It was good? Because you would have put me in that shawl?
Yeah. This is going to work great, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? And I will, for you guys, I will take a picture of the messy parts of this room. And then once I do finally have it clean, I'll show you a picture of it clean and a picture of it messy. So you'll see that I really did do my commitment. So, hey, Why don't you share with everyone what you did as a 2-minute rule this week? Because I saw you do it.
Okay.
What did you do?
I have been exercising at the pool using a
Pool noodle, but an extra thick one.
An extra thick pool noodle to practice, get these muscles used a little better so I can do push-ups. Because I would like to be able to do push-ups. And you know what? Push-ups, if you can do them, that's exercise you can do anywhere there's a ground. And any place you go, there is a floor somewhere, So
yeah.
I could do that. And it's, it would use a lot of muscles, and it would use up a lot of, it would build muscles too. So I could, when you build up muscles, it acts kind of like a factory that burns fat.
Right. And you burn more calories every day if you have more muscles.
So I started the 2-minute rule. I decided to start with one push-up, and I did one push-up.
Yeah.
Now today I did one more push-up. But the goal is not to stay at one push-up. The goal is to do something for at least like 2 minutes, right?
Yeah,
2-minute
at
rule.
least 2 minutes.
Or at least make my goal to start anyway, one push-up. If I do one push-up, then I can, if it feels good and I've got my muscles strong enough to do more, I will do more.
That is a great idea. Jeff and I, when it wasn't 100, today is 115 degrees, you guys. It is so hot in Arizona. Oh,
I think it's only supposed to be 114.
You think it's only supposed to reach 114?
Yeah.
It was 115 yesterday, and I heard it was supposed to be 115 today, but maybe we'll luck out, and it'll only be 114. It's hot here.
It's a cooling trend.
Yeah, but in the winter, it doesn't snow in the deserts of Arizona where we live, and we like to go walking. And there is a park bench in our community, and I do push-ups on that park bench.
Kind of like what do you call those?
It's like
a leaning kind of.
Yeah, it's more of a reclining push-up because
which are easier to do, but it works the same muscles, right?
Yeah, it works the same muscles. I'm just not strong enough yet to do one push-up on the ground. I'd never get up again.
And my legs are so long that it's like it's working against me, like lever-wise,
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, for me, I like to do push-ups on a park bench. And it's a park bench that doesn't move because it's really concreted into the ground. But yeah, and so I'll be doing those push-ups again when we're not swimming and we switch to walking when it's not so crazy hot out. But I'm proud of you to be able to do them on the ground, and we'll see how.
Aren't you going to ask me what I did for getting rid of a bad habit?
Ooh, you got rid of a bad habit?
Well, I don't know. One of the things I did was I set my watch. I can set an alarm, as many alarms as I want to on my Fitbit, and I set my alarm to wake us up. And I worked this out with you.
Yeah, you did.
At 7:20, because one of my habits has been, I know I want to wake up in the morning and exercise, but if I'm just tired, I just sleep in and, Gina's not awake yet and we didn't talk about it. We're just not going to exercise this morning. So I set my alarm. It's going to go off at 7:20 every morning and wake me up. So at least I'll already be awake. And that's my first step to get rid of the bad habit of just sleeping in and snoozing past
and not getting the exercise in. So your commitment device is setting an alarm to wake us up.
Yeah. I might borrow your shawl.
Hey, you can't leave the house until you get your exercise in. There you go. Except for our exercise actually is leaving the house.
Yeah. I think this will look nice on you.
Oh, well, thank you, dear. I hope next week my room is clean. I'll let you know. You guys will all be the first to know. Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, those were really good. Those were great commitment devices. Love you.
Love you too.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, I think we have a few other people who've written some comments. So here's my glasses. Let's see here. Taz the Bulldog's mom says, my 2 minutes has been stick with the difficult task and keep pushing through, and it really helps. I tend to tear myself down or cut myself short, so I have committed to focus on God and be positive. Wow. Those are fantastic. Taz's mom. Awesome. You know, the biggest bully in your life is ourselves. We are our biggest bully because other bullies you can get rid of them. You can if you have a bully at school, well, when you're home, that bully's not with you. If you have a bully at work or a bully boss, but when you get home, that bully's not with you. But you can bully yourself 24 hours a day because you're always with yourself. And so it's always really good to do everything in your power to speak positively to yourself and to try to stop being a bully. And one way that you can have a commitment device, is look in the mirror every day and pretend the person you're looking at is somebody else. What would you tell him? I bet you'd say really nice things. If you met yourself somewhere on the street, or that person in the mirror was your best friend that you like to have coffee with and chit chat or do things with, what are some nice things you'd tell your best friend? Practice doing that. That could be a 2-minute rule, that maybe every day before you leave the house, you look in the mirror and say something nice to yourself. So that way you work on not being your biggest bully. Anyway, that's a little bit of advice. Let's see. Uh, Reformation, yes. And Deb Zimmerman says, "Hi, Gina. Hi, Deb. Yay. Great to have Deb in the house." And Taz the Bulldog's mom says, "For 2 minutes before going into my quiet time." Oh, wow. Yes. To focus on God and to be positive. That is great, Taz's mom. And Lucy says, "I really must do more exercise." Oh, don't we all? And I'm doing better with that. Jeff and I have been really working hard on that. Hopefully, something that we'll discuss here will motivate you, Lucy. And Taz the Bulldog's mom says, "Only Gina." It's way too hot. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is so crazy hot. And Taz the Bulldog's mom says, "However, I am from Newport Beach." Oh my gosh, I have been to Newport Beach. It is beautiful there. Lucy says, "I can't even imagine that kind of heat." You guys, it is crazy hot. I did, I made a video. I can't remember who asked me. I think it might have been Mindy. But one of my viewers, when I do my Mounjaro Monday lives last week, typed in the thing. I had mentioned something about doing water aerobic moves because I used to be a substitute water aerobic instructor at my local YMCA, and I took water aerobics for years. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. And someone asked me, "Well, are you a good swimmer, Gina? And how do you swim?" And boy, I wish I could take your water aerobics class. So this week, I created a video doing water aerobics, some of my favorite water aerobic moves, so that way you can see those. And uh, where was I going to go with this? I can't remember, but I've been working really hard doing, oh, because it's so hot. I can only do water aerobics first thing in the morning because I can't go outside when it's 115. I would burn to a crisp. But I do it first thing in the morning, and I make it so now exercise in the morning is something I have to do before I can leave the house and do anything else. First, I have to get my exercise done. And if I do my exercise in the morning, then I'll really get it done. Whereas if I say I'm going to exercise in the evening, there's like a 50-50 chance I might do it, or I might be too tired, or I'll think of, oh, maybe I ate too much for dinner, so I'm too full, or whatever. I have so many excuses if I wait until later in the day. So the only way for me to get exercise is to make sure I do it in the morning. And when I used to be a school teacher years ago, I had an exercise machine. I had a Nordic track was what it was called, but it was like a cross country ski machine thing, kind of like an elliptical sort of. And anyway, I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning so I could watch All My Children, which is a soap opera. I don't even know if it's still on anymore, but it used to be a soap opera on ABC that I absolutely loved when I was in high school and watched it from high school on up. And so I would tape it, and I would only let myself watch the tapes of it when I was exercising. And that would help me get up in the morning because I'd be so excited to see what happened next to my favorite characters. And I would exercise on my Nordic track, and then I would shower, get dressed, and then I would drive myself to school and teach. But I really got my exercise in when I did that. So anyway, I've always been a morning exerciser, and that's been helpful for me. Uh, and so I guess my commitment device could be not only having Jeff wake me up early to make sure that we can swim when it's not crazy hot out, because our community pool opens at 8. So we try to get there between 8 and 9, because after 9 o'clock, it just gets so much hotter, because you don't want to be there after 10 because it's just too warm. But anyway, commitment devices can be so helpful. All right, I don't see any more comments there. So let me find some other good tips that are in the chapter. Um, oh, here. So a couple other commitment devices said to reduce, like one thing you could do to reduce overeating by purchasing food in individual packages rather than in bulk size. I think I had mentioned on one of the weeks here, I found some cookies, some Milano cookies, which are one of my favorites. And there's 2 cookies in an individual pack. And then there's a bunch of packs, but each pack has 2 cookies for 110 calories. I can't buy a regular package of Milano cookies, because if I do, within 2 days, I could eat that whole package. Once I open it up and I put my hand in, oh my gosh, it's just so hard to stop. But when I have it in an individual package, in a little pack of just 110 calories and just 2 cookies, it's so much easier to be able to have a snack and stop. And I've done that with other things too. Jeff and I also like to we get baked scoops. They're Tostitos tortilla chips, but they look kind of like a scoop. And the baked version of it, you can get in a little bag for only 110 calories. And Jeff and I sometimes will have nachos, but we can make ourselves nachos that aren't high in calorie, because we're in control of how many calories, because we'll use just 110 calories of the scoops, and then I can measure out like 110 calories with the cheese, or something else. We'll put like Madra's lentils on them, or lots of different things that we can do, that we can have nachos, but not super fattening, because we can control that. And so anyway, we get that on Amazon, and I'm not a sponsor of them. I would be if they'd ask. It's like, I would only, if I were to sponsor anything at any point in time, I'd have to truly love it. And right now, no one's asked me to be a sponsor, so nothing is sponsored. But I will tell you, I love those Tostitos chips, and they come in, just like I say, a little bag of 110. Anytime that I can eat something that is pre-portioned and measured, makes it so much easier to be able to eat a little bit and then stop. And James Clear mentions that in chapter 14 as well. Oh, and he said he's also heard of athletes who have to make weight for competition. So especially guys who are wrestlers. If they wrestle, it's very important what weight class they are. And so sometimes they have to try to be at a lower weight class if they can. And he says he's heard of athletes who have to make weight for a competition, choose to leave their wallets at home during the week before weigh-in, so they won't be tempted by fast food. That's pretty amazing too. And it would be a great trick, a great commitment device, is to making sure you don't have, or at least, you have your driver's license, but you don't have a charge card or money on you. Interesting. And it says commitment devices increase the odds that you'll do the right thing in the future by making bad habits difficult in the present. Yeah, anything you can do to we've been trying to do we've been talking about in previous weeks things you can do to make a habit easy, like Jeff wanting to do push-ups. He doesn't want to start and say I have to do 20 push-ups a day or whatever. He starts with I have to do one push-up a day and make it easy, and then he'll really do it, um, let's see. But to stop a bad habit, you got to put things to make that bad habit harder to do. I had mentioned earlier that I always have chocolate covered almonds in the house, just in case. If I need a little something, I have them. However, I make it really hard to get. They're not, if I see them every day, if I had them in the kitchen, then I just put my hand in there and I'm eating too many almonds. And Jeff and I will go through a big tub of Costco almonds, chocolate covered almonds, like every week or two, which is like a crazy amount of calories. So I have them hidden in the closet, and it's hard to get at them because I have a whole bunch of other things on top of them. And so I'll go weeks and forget that I even have the chocolate covered almonds. But every now and again, if I get a hankering, then I know, oh, I I I know where I can find a little something sweet. And then I go in the closet and I have to dig for them. But you always want to make your bad habits harder to do. Put as many things in its way as possible. So there's a lot of friction to get to your bad habits, and then make your easy habits as easy, or your good habits as easy as possible. Another suggestion they had in here was to use smaller dinner plates. And you could have that be a commitment device. So if you have two sizes of plates in your cupboard, which I do, I have a small plate and a big plate. Jeff and I are using the small plates now, because when you put your food on a small plate, it freaks your mind out, because it makes your mind think you're eating more than you actually are, and it's more satisfying. Whereas if you have a big giant plate and you put a little serving on it, it looks kind of sad sitting there. And I know it's just psychological because it's the same amount but different. Oh, and another commitment device they talked about here in this chapter is one that I'm currently doing, and that's when you go to a restaurant to ask for if Jeff and I can't decide on a meal that we're going to split and we each eat half, then I ask the waiter to please bring out a to-go box with my meal, so that way I can put half of it in the to-go box. But James Clear, he took it a step farther in chapter 14 and said, ask the waiter when they bring the food out to you to already in the kitchen, take half of your food and put it into a to-go box for you. So you don't even have to touch it. It's already done. And I haven't tried that yet. I've just asked for the box and I do it myself. But that could be helpful. So I'm going to try that the next time I go out to a restaurant, and see if they'll put it in half of it in a to-go box for me, and then set it down on the table when they set down my plate. And James Clear says if it's already taken care of and half of that meal is set aside in that box, then he really takes half of it home. Whereas if he just tries to eat half, and then when he's done eating his half, and it's getting close to time to pay for the meal, to say, oh, can I have a to-go box, please? Well, there's a chance that there's not going to be a half to go in a to-go box, because he's going to eat a little bit more than 50%. So if you do it right at the beginning, that's your commitment device. The commitment device is half of that meal is already in a to-go box, ready to go home. Okay, let's see. Looks like there's some more comments here. Taz the Bulldog's mom says, thank you for your commitment to this group, Gina. Oh, you're welcome. I just want to tell you all that you make a difference in my life, because I know you guys are all my commitment device, especially since I set a time. So I know on Sundays, 1 o'clock Arizona time, which is 9 o'clock for my UK buddies, Lucy and her lovely daughter. So that they can be a part of it too. And then my friends in other parts of the country, they can also know that at this time, that's when Gina's going to go live. Well, now that I know that people are relying on me and they are expecting me to show up, that you're expecting me to be here, you are my commitment device, and you make sure that I get my chapter read and that I am ready to go to discuss it. And you make a difference for me. You really do. So I appreciate all of you being here. Okay, let's see. And Lucy says, I'm a member of a gym, but I haven't been. But I haven't been for months. Oh no! But I know you've had bad back problems too. Lucy, what would be good is to go to the gym and try to find things that you can do that will make you feel better and not worse. And if your gym has a pool, that's the best. Oh my gosh, swimming is amazing. Even walking in a pool, because when you walk in a pool, you burn more calories than if you're just walking at the mall or walking down the street, because the water is pushing against you. So anything you can do in the water will be really, really helpful. And sometimes it's good to get a personal trainer. That was one thing I did for a while at the Y. If I knew I was paying a personal trainer, by golly, I got my butt in the gym and got my workout in, because I didn't want to pay for a session that I missed. Because if you canceled in less than 2 hours before or something like that, they'd charge you. And I never wanted to be charged. So it got my butt there. But if you have a really good personal trainer and they know where you're having some medical issues, they can work with you and show you different activities you can do that will make you stronger and not hurt you. Deb says, please, everyone, hit the like button. Oh, thanks, Deb. That really does make a difference. And even if you're watching on replay right now, hitting that like button tells YouTube that, hey, this is a pretty good video. People like it. And then they'll show it to more people, and we'll have more people join our weight loss club, which will be so great, our weight loss book club. So thanks, Deb. And Lucy says, I'm trying to eat only fruit as a snack. Hey, that is a great rule. You can make that be a commitment device and say, my commitment device, if I'm hungry and it's not dinner time or breakfast or lunch, I can have fruit, and make fruit and vegetables be the only kind of snack you can have, and make that as a commitment. And then the even better commitment device to make it even better is to have that fruit where you can see it. Like one of these chapters, James Clear mentioned about putting fruit in a bowl where you can see your apples, and have it on your counter or maybe on your kitchen table. So when you walk by, you see those apples, and he was more likely to pull an apple out and eat it if he could see it, and remind him, oh yeah, I like apples. Here's an apple, and then to have it. Also, if you, I've been eating a lot of celery lately, because I've been diagnosed with lipedema in my arms and legs. If you want to know what lipedema fat looks like, you can watch my water aerobics video that I made go live yesterday, and you can see it. But that fat, a lot of that fat is painful fat, and it has inflammation in it. And I found out that celery helps reduce inflammation in the body. So I've been trying to eat more celery, and I get celery sticks that are already in the refrigerator, and I can just pull them out, and then I'll still cut a fresh end on each side. And I've been eating a lot of celery. Sometimes I put a little bit of cream cheese in it, sometimes a little bit of peanut butter in it, and sometimes just plain celery with a sandwich or whatever I'm having. And but I make sure that the celery is where I can see it when I open up the fridge, that I see it, and I'm more aware, eat it. But that would be a great commitment device, is to say that's the only snacks that I'll have. But you still have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but as a snack, I'll eat fruit. Taz the Bulldog's mom says, I make protein almond butter bark. Protein almond butter bark. Ooh, that sounds good. And it's been a delicious treat. And that's a good way to get more protein in too. And and Taylor Made Hair Studio gave me some hearts. Thank you so much, Taylor. I appreciate that. And Lucy says it does have a pool. Oh my gosh, Lucy, that's it. That would be so great for you. And if you watch my video, I did 10 different fun water exercises you can do in any size pool. You can do them at your level. And I will tell you, when I took water aerobics for many, many years, and when I would substitute teach it too, there were women and men in the class that would go really early. And the early group, the class was at 7 in the morning. Even in the winter in Arizona, and sometimes in the winter in Arizona, it'll get to freezing, but the pool was heated and it was an outdoor pool. And I used to call those ladies and gentlemen, I used to call them the Polar Bear Club. And when I would substitute for them, I would do the exercises. I'd try to stand on the side of the pool, but I'd have like a coat and jacket and mittens and gloves. And but they loved it. And some of them were in their 80s and 90s. I mean, they were old, but they could swim. And because it felt so good on their bodies to be in the water moving, they were there every Monday through Friday. They never missed a class. That 7 in the morning class, they were so regular because it felt so good. And some of them had knee surgeries, or just finished recovering from a broken hip, and their doctor finally said that they could exercise again in the water. They'd be in there. Water is just awesome. And even if you're not a good swimmer, which Jeff did some video of me doing a couple of laps. He did it in kind of a funny way, so you'll have to see. But you can see how I swim. I'm 58 years old. My hair is no longer super dark like this. I do color it, and there's salt in my pool. And so I put my hair on top of my head in a bun because I don't want to get my hair wet, because the salt wouldn't be good for my hair coloring. So anyway, I can exercise for over an hour splashing around, and my hair mostly stays dry. But there's so many different exercises you can do that's so much fun in a pool. And if anyone else has lipedema, swimming is one of the number one exercises for lipedema in your arms or in your legs, because of the water pressure. Just walking in water, the pressure of the water is really good for releasing some of the edema. So anyway, it's a great exercise. And of course, I'm always supposed to say, and Jeff will make me say it too, talk to your doctor first before to be cleared to do exercise. But I will tell you, there's a lot of people in their 80s and 90s doing water aerobics at the Y in the pool, because it is one of the best exercises out there for anyone of any age. And Taz the Bulldog's mom says, we just put our house up for sale in Arizona and have lots of offers. Wow. And moving to Tennessee, I will need to deal with some snow. So it should be interesting for you. Oh my gosh, it will be. I have friends in Nashville, Tennessee, and they absolutely love it. I went and visited them last year, and oh my gosh, Tennessee is beautiful. It's so green and lush. A little bit humid though, so you'll have to get used to humidity, but it's beautiful. So maybe sometime because I'll have to go back to Nashville to visit my friends Diane and Amy, and when I go through sometime, I'll have to give you a shout out and see, maybe I can meet you at a McDonald's or something. And Taz the Bulldog's mom's asking me a very good question. Do you have to wear compression shorts or anything for lipedema? Okay. I'm newly diagnosed, and I also have chronic venous insufficiency, which I don't know. The valves in my veins don't do very well. And so my blood is supposed to be going up, and then sometimes it kind of slides down and has issues. And my vein doctor said I could have, there's some surgical procedures that can be done that could fix my legs, but my insurance will not let me do it unless at least for 3 months I wear compression leggings. And I'm wearing them right now. And I will tell you, they're hard as the dickens to put on. But if you put the compression leggings that I use, I just got them and I'm wearing them right now. They come with a little plastic thing that I'm supposed to put my foot in to slide them on, because when you pull them out of the package, they look tiny. They look like a kindergartner's tights. And I look at those, I was like, how in the heck am I going to get those on my legs? But I put this on so it makes my foot slippery and it helps it go through, and it pushes on my legs, but they look kind of like regular tights. Maybe if I step back this way. But yeah, these are compression leggings, and they are tight. They are tight, tight, tight. And they're extra thick. And when I take them off my legs, I've only been wearing them for a week. When I take them off after I've worn them for a few hours, they have kind of a pattern to them. And when I take them off, my legs have a whole bunch of that little pattern going all the way down because they're so tight. And when I first put them on, I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can breathe in these. I don't think I'm going to like them. But you know what? After about 5 minutes or so, I start to get used to them. And they are stiff. They're stiffer than regular leggings, but I can move my legs in them, and I'm giving them a shot. And I have to do it for at least 3 months, or I won't be able to have the vein surgeries to fix my veins. So anyway, so the answer to that is yes, but I've only been doing it for a week. And at some point here, when Jeff and I can figure out how to do it, we'll do an Amazon store, and I'll put all the different things that help with lipedema and some of the other things in there. So if anyone, only the things that I like, and if anyone wants to try some of the things that I'm using or like, they're welcome to, and there'll be an easy place for you to be able to do that. Maybe we can have that done another week or two. Maybe I can hide all Jeff's clothes until he can't leave the house until he makes my Amazon store. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see here. Please do. Okay, I will, Taz the Bulldog's mom. I'll put something together. There's some other things that I've been doing that are conservative things to help with the lipedema. And so I'll share all those new toys with you guys too. And I'll put it in that store, and hopefully in a week or so, I'll have that up and I'll be able to share with you all the different things I'm doing. There's a really good website called lipedema.org, and it's a nonprofit. That's a lipedema foundation, and they do a lot of things and have a lot of great advice on there. Some things that you can do require surgery, but there's other things that are considered conservative, like wearing these leggings. And I bought 2 different pairs, 2 different companies, but the one company, once I got them, I realized I need a size bigger. So I didn't even try it. I looked on the back of the package and went, uh-oh, I weigh too much, and my sizes are too much for this one. I really needed to go a size up, but it was cheaper. So I'm going to try the next size up, but I'm still keeping the one that's too small, because I'm praying I'll keep losing weight and I'll fit into them one day. But because I think I could fit in them in another 25 pounds. So anyway, but I'll share all that kind of stuff in that for you guys. All right, let's see if there's anything else from the chapter that I missed that would be worth. Oh, one person did something to stop. He noticed he was at work, he was checking social media and he wasn't getting a lot of his work done because he was always doing that. So he told his secretary he did not want to go on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, those kind of things, Monday through Friday so he could get his work done. So his secretary would change his passwords. So on Monday, she'd change all of his passwords. And then on Friday, before he would leave to go home, she would tell him what all of his new passwords were. So on the weekend, he could check his social media, but Monday through Friday, he didn't want to waste his time with that. And that was the commitment device he did, is he used his secretary to help with that. So anyway, I find that pretty interesting too from the chapter. And that's it. This was a nice short chapter. It only had 8 pages. And for some of you, if you want to read the book, but you haven't, you get kind of behind or whatever, a good 2-minute rule would be before you come on, try to read, or the day before even, try to read 1 page. You say, if I read at least 1 page a week. And when you're done reading the first page, you'll probably want to read more. And these chapters are really short. So next week, we will be doing chapter 15 already. And called The Fourth Law, Make It Satisfying. And then chapter 15, The Cardinal Rule of Behavior Change. So that's what we've got for next week. I want to thank everyone for tuning in this week. And if anyone's behind a couple of chapters, or this is the first time you've tuned in to the Atomic Habit Book Club weight loss group, I do have a playlist that has all 14 videos are on that playlist, so you always can get caught up. And if you have any friends that you think would enjoy this group, let us know. And when we're done with the Atomic Habit book, we'll be doing another book, and we'll do it the same way. We'll do it 1 chapter a week, and it'll all be things that can help us on a healthy weight loss journey. I hope you all have a wonderful week. And tomorrow is Mounjaro Monday. Well, I'll be giving myself my shot and also doing putting on some HRT and helping with that too. And I don't have any more comments, I don't think. So anyway, have a wonderful week, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.